Welcome to the Gravity League. I'm your host, Hiromi V Gravity, and I'm here to take you on a tour of the world of performing arts. This week, we'll discover Morgue Anne, Seattle's hardest working ghoul. And I'll figure out what happened to my black acrylic ball.
How did you get started with performing in general?
I actually have 13 years of musical theater training. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, daycare was full, and my mom decided that putting her young child in a theater class was a great idea because I had tons of energy and I loved attention. And I stuck with it through the end of high school, and I finished high school and I kind of looked at myself and my life skills and I thought, well, I could go to New York, but there's a million other starving artists who are out there who are just, if not more, determined to get that spot, and I don't have the energy or the fire burning inside me for it. And so I kind of wandered around for a few years, wasn't really sure what to do with myself. I discovered a haunted house up in Snohomish called the Stalker Farms Field of Screams, and I realized how much I had missed performing. Fortunately, Seattle has this amazing, thriving burlesque scene that is very, very welcoming and very encouraging to new artists. And so I kind of found myself in the middle of this burlesque community, and I realized that I could take all of my theatrical training and all of my desire to be an independent artist and to do what I wanted to do, and I could take my clothes off. And I could combine all these things into a stage performance where I can be like, yeah, I can do The Lion King, but punk rock with drag queens, and at the end of it, I'm naked and everyone cheers. And it was such a satisfying feeling to have complete creative control and to work with so many amazing, talented, versatile performers that I just stuck with it. And I looked around and I didn't see a lot of the shows that I wanted to see going on, so I just started making them.
So basically you get to do exactly what you want to do.
Yes! For example, I have a monthly show called Broadcast Burlesque at Dante's every last Sunday of the month. And one day I'm going through my Facebook feed and everyone was sharing those Upworthy stories or the clickbait titles where it's, this list of 16 fruits and vegetables will change your life, or you won't believe what happens next, or all these crazy things. And I was so frustrated, I just went, that's it! I'm doing a clickbait show. Because I need to express my frustrations or my feelings for this in artistic ways.
The clickbait one wasn't the only social commentary show that you've done, is it?
I've done a number of social commentary shows. I did, for 4th of July, I did Red, White, and Burlesque, which was an American-themed 4th of July, you know, kind of the obvious one. And I did have a lot of the cheesecakey, yay, America, red, white, and blue, and sparkles acts. But I also really encourage people to have acts that made people think about things. Someone submitted an immigration act where they peeled off layers of different nationalities of immigrants that we have kind of shamed over the years. I have a number of acts that have to do with either gay pride or women's rights. My grandmother loves my women's rights acts. She thinks those are the best. I do a brief history of women's rights, and I talk about significant moments in American history for women to progress forward. And for each bullet point on the list, as it were, I remove an article of clothing, often one that's very relevant, where I start in this huge, poofy, very Victorian-looking dress, and then I end in pasties and a thong, which is the legal bare minimum that you can be in a room that serves alcohol and be wearing. And I asked the audience,
given our history, given the fight that all of these women have had, and given the struggle that still exists today, what do we have left to lose?
And it's a lot of fun. It gives kind of a safe space. We can enjoy it because it's a woman taking her clothes off, and who doesn't love to see that? But it's also very thought-provoking and serious. Inevitably, when I go out places and someone will go, oh, you're Morgue Anne, or they'll go, oh my god, you're Morgue Anne, and then they'll tell me their story. And they'll say something like, well, thank you for standing up for these things. And those make it worth it, where I'm like, oh, there may be a million men on Facebook telling me I'm too angry of a feminist, But then there's the one woman who approaches me and says, I've never told anyone this. And they tell me their story and they say, thank you for making me feel like I'm not alone, or like I'm not a freak, or I have every right to feel how I feel. And those, like, that's what does it for me.
To learn more about Morgue Anne and her upcoming shows, visit facebook.com/themorgueanne, facebook.com/morgueannepresents, and sexanddeath.org. What do you mean it's on my head?